Yeah.
All right. So this is our first episode for the Riverview Off the Clock podcast, and our first teacher that we're interviewing is Profe Sikkenga.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get right into it. I'll start off with my first question. What was the name of your favorite teacher growing up?
Ooh. I guess I'll go with my favorite Spanish teacher that kind of inspired me into teaching Spanish. It was Senora Wersinski. I had her for Spanish too my freshman year of high school. She was great.
That's sick.
Like I guess like when she taught you, what were like things that like I guess that like kind of like separated her from like the average like Spanish teacher?
I would say she made it very fun. We did a lot of games and she just brought a lot of passion to it that, you know, I didn't get from all of my teachers.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So my question is going to be, what is your favorite memory from high school?
Ooh, favorite memory. I think I'd actually say, so out of like our classes, I feel like my class was really close to one another, even though, I mean, we only had like 375 kids, but I remember our last day, like seniors' last day, we had like a cookout and everything in front of the cafeteria and, you know, had our senior shirts and just had fun that way. So we really connected with each other.
Was this like in Florida?
No, it was in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty small school, but
Oh, okay.
You know,
Do you guys do like senior sunrise there?
no, we didn't
No?
do anything like that. But
Oh,
we
okay.
did like, we would do like homecoming week, but then we also had like a snow coming week where we did like a mock rock competition and with the different classes. So we did a lot of stuff like
Wait,
that.
what's a mock rock?
It was basically where we like choreographed a dance to like a set of songs. So we had like a theme. Like one year it was like continents, and each grade picked a continent. So it's kind of like that.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
cool.
Yeah. So I guess this is kind of like more random, but like I would say, do you have like a hot take related to your job?
Ooh, hot take. I would say my hot take is that I don't really like give homework, just because I feel like we're doing so much of the practice in school, especially now with like, you know, AI and stuff that's easy to access. So I don't really give like nightly homework.
What got you interested in the language of Spanish?
So I started in 8th grade. I didn't really actually enjoy it my first year. It wasn't until I had Senora my second year that I don't know, something clicked. But we also did a lot with like the culture that I kind of connected with, because I don't really, my heritage is like Dutch and German and British. I don't really connect that much with the culture. So it just, I don't know, I loved everything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were like, what's you've gone to like Spanish speaking countries, right?
Yeah.
What are like the Spanish speaking countries you've gone to?
So I lived for a couple months in Spain. I studied there in college. I've also been to Costa Rica. I've been to Mexico, and Cuba.
Nice.
How was your experience in Cuba?
It was a really interesting experience, because it was actually like in March of 2020, right before COVID, or I guess kind of in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So it was interesting experience, because you could kind of see a lot of people were wearing masks at the time before, you know, it became widespread. But it was a really good experience. It was interesting to, you know, talk to the cab drivers and, you know, just people that you met on the street. It was a good experience though.
And in these like Spanish speaking countries, like how would like I guess like the natives react to like you just speaking Spanish like pretty like fluently?
They're usually surprised. So normally, a lot of times, like when I start speaking to them in Spanish, they think I just know like a little bit, and sometimes they respond in English, and then after I like keep talking to them, they're like, "Oh, sí habla español." So it's, yeah, I would say usually surprised.
Nice.
Okay, so what would you say the most rewarding part about being a teacher is?
It's probably cliche, well, I know it's cliche, but you know, it's like those light bulb moments where students, you know, they don't understand it, and then all of a sudden something clicks. And then also, I would say I have, because of the classes that I teach, I get a lot of students for 2 years in a row, such as y'all.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to be able to see, you know, students grow from that first day in class to, you know, where they're going off to take the IB exam. So that's a really cool
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but this is like my 3rd year with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to like say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So like I noticed that in class you put a lot of like Spanish music during like class time. Do you listen to that music like out of school?
Yeah, I would say it depends on my mood. Like, in the morning when I'm like waking up, like I have first period planning now. I play a lot of like salsa music, stuff that's really like upbeat and kind of wakes me up. But I do enjoy listening to all sorts of Spanish language music outside of school too.
Nice.
Do you have a favorite artist?
That's a really hard choice.
Or maybe like a couple favorite artists.
I listen to a lot of like Fonseca. I
Okay.
listen to a lot of Carlos Vives, some Bad Bunny too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like a mix of different
Yeah.
genres.
Yeah.
I remember that you did like a kind of like a Bad Bunny like lesson last year. Was that like your own idea or?
Yeah, I had. I had been wanting to do it, and it just so happens that there are a lot of themes that he covers in his music that, you know, so it seemed appropriate, and a lot of people don't think of. I think a lot of people don't really like break down his lyrics because a lot of people don't understand it. So I think it's really interesting when you actually get to like tap into all of the, you know, he has a lot of like social criticism and kind of what's going on, not just with Puerto Rico, but, you know, other parts of the world. That's interesting.
What are some other places you want to go as a traveler?
Oof. I mean, I for sure want to go to every Spanish-speaking country. So I have like 17 more, 16 more. I don't remember. But I would say like top of my list right now for those would be like Colombia. I've really always wanted to go to Puerto Rico as well, even though we're super close. I've never been there.
Yeah.
But I also really love Europe as well. So I would love to go back to Italy, back to Spain.
Yeah.
So pretty much everywhere, to be honest.
Yeah.
And when you like travel to other countries, do you usually do it with other people or by yourself?
Yeah, I usually go with other people. I mean, I haven't been. I think the last time I went out of the country was actually with my friend who teaches Spanish in Michigan.
Oh,
I went
nice.
with her and her school to Spain. But I like to. I like both. I don't think I've traveled internationally alone, but I do also kind of like that if you travel alone, you can kind of do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, as long as you're with someone that you're kind of compatible and you want to do the same things, it works out.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could teach another subject, what would it be? And this would include like maybe like a new subject that we don't offer here. Even.
I mean, I have also taught social studies, so
Okay.
I've taught
Oh.
U.S. history, world history, government, econ,
Wow.
law studies,
Wow.
geography. So I would say probably something in the social studies. Yeah, like GLOPO would be really interesting. IB GLOPO. I'm not coming for your class, Mr. Connect. Don't worry. No, but I would say probably something in the social studies because I've already done it.
Nice.
But if I were to venture out of that, I actually really like science. Like, I loved chemistry. I don't know that
Really?
I could teach it, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy teaching history?
Yeah, I did. It wasn't like it's not really like my first passion, but at a couple of the schools that I've been at, that was just kind of how it worked out, that they needed both a Spanish and a social studies teacher. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but I enjoy it as well.
Like growing up, before you like became a teacher, was there like any other jobs you thought about?
I don't think so. Like my mom tells me that when I was starting in first grade, I said I was going to be a teacher because I loved my Mrs. Handkip was my first grade teacher. Like she had a tree house in her classroom
wow.
that you could
Wow,
like
that's
go up
sick.
and read in, and
Like,
apparently,
okay, how big was this classroom?
I mean, it was like a normal classroom, but
Okay.
she like I don't know, her husband built like a little
That's cool.
tree house sort of
Wow.
situation. So yeah, that's really the only thing I remember wanting to do.
Do you believe that you said that in first grade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I don't remember ever growing up being like, oh, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, astronaut, like some of the things that a lot of people do.
Yeah. So do you have like any mentors right now for your job?
I would say, so actually when I came here from a different school, my official mentor, because we have like a program, was Miss Sanchez.
Okay.
And I feel like we are like the IB Spanish team, so we help each other out and we do a lot of stuff collaboratively, which is awesome.
That's good. Yeah. Do you hang out with like any other teachers out of school?
Yeah. Yeah, I have some teachers I hang out with.
Nice.
Do you have a favorite Spanish author?
Yeah, I love Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And I also love, like, for theater, I like Federico Garcia Lorca, which we study both of them in my IB Spanish Language class.
Nice. When when trying to like learn Spanish, what were like habits or like things you did in order to like reach that goal?
So one of the things I did in high school, because I came from a part of Michigan that wasn't very diverse, so there weren't a lot of native Spanish speakers in my small town, but we did have a really big exchange program. So I was friends with a lot of the students that came. Most of them came from Mexico and Spain. We had some from Ecuador, Peru. So I became friends with them, and I would practice with them in Spanish, and they would practice English with me. So I would say that was kind of the biggest thing in high school, because it was still kind of before, like Duolingo and stuff like that. And then in college, it was kind of the same sort of thing, except at my university, we had like a program with the University of Santo Domingo. So we had a lot of Dominicans at my university that that I became friends with and practiced with. And traveling, obviously.
Yeah.
So I noticed you have some different college flags in here. I'm curious about your college experience, where you went.
So I went to Western Michigan for my undergrad, go Broncos. And I did a double major in Spanish and geography for secondary education. And then my minor was history, which is how I got into social studies and Spanish. And then just this past May, I graduated from Florida State with my master's in educational leadership and administration.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So both different experiences, because Florida State was completely online,
Yeah.
which was kind of new to me. So I've actually never been to Tallahassee, so I didn't get the whole, college experience like I did at Western. But
Yeah.
it was a good experience.
Speaking about college, do you have any tips for upcoming freshmen in college to make the most out of it?
I think for me, I think it's really important to become. I think like anything else, it's kind of what you put into it. So I'm the kind of person that likes to be very involved. So I joined a bunch of, we called them RSOs, registered student organizations. So I kind of got to know the campus by being part of like the student government and campus activities board that kind of like planned different events and stuff. So I think that's like a great outlet to like really get to know the campus. But I know there are, some of those people that kind of are there to study and that's it. But I think you get a much more meaningful experience when you have those other, extracurriculars, just like in high school.
Nice. Yeah. Do you have like any hobbies outside of school?
I would say one of my biggest hobbies recently actually is like baking. So
Okay.
I bake like sourdough and all sorts of different things. I love traveling when I have a chance. I used to I still like going to the theme parks, but like I don't have a Disney annual pass anymore, so I don't do it as often. But stuff like that, being outdoors, going to the beach.
Have you visited like Epic Universe yet?
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually went in April for the cast preview because I have one of my friends who's a music teacher there also works part-time at Universal,
Oh,
so
that's
I
cool.
went there before it opened actually. It was
Really?
pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So out of all the places you've traveled to, what would you say your top few would be?
I would say Spain because I spent the most time there, and I spent 2 months there, and then I went back for a week a couple years ago. And then it kind of depends on like the type of experience. So in Costa Rica, for example, was amazing for the wildlife. We did whitewater rafting. We did zip lining in the cloud forest. So I would say for anything nature related, that would be the biggest.
All right. So have you worked at any other schools, or just Riverview?
Yeah, this is my, oh gosh, I think this is my fourth school. So I've worked at a private school and 2 charter schools before I came to Riverview. But now I've been here, this is my 5th year, so this is where I've been most of my time.
Nice.
Were those both high schools or like those other schools?
Yeah, so the first one was actually 6th through 12th grade, and then the second one was middle school, and then the last one was just high school.
What made you like say like, oh, like I should move to like this other school?
Well, definitely the IB program attracted me because I taught IB at my previous school, and then they actually got rid of the program.
Oh, okay.
So when this came up, it was a chance to get back into that. So that was probably the biggest thing, and I'd already met like Miss Sanchez and some other teachers at school, so I already kind of had a connection here.
So you said you've taught at a charter school and a private school as well, right? So have you seen like a difference in like behavior of the students in the different kinds of schools?
I wouldn't say, I don't know that it had to do with like the type of school that it was. It was more that each of the schools kind of had their own like niche of students that kind of made a difference, but definitely notice a huge difference between middle school and high school in terms of like behaviors.
Do you have any funny stories from when you were a student?
Funny stories. I mean, the only thing I guess it's more like embarrassing was I remember like in Spanish class we did I don't remember what the game was, but we did a lot of these games where like everyone would have like a little piece like for conjugating and stuff, and you run up with it. And I remember one time I like slipped on a piece of paper and like tripped and fell on my face, but we still won.
Nice.
That's the only thing I can remember.
So like when students like talk to you, I always hear that they, instead of saying like Mr. or teacher, they always say Profe. Like, when did that start?
I think when I started teaching IB here at Riverview, because like previously, like when I taught middle school, they called me Senor, but it kind of like, I don't know, it kind of made me feel like an old man. So and like I know in a lot of Spanish-speaking countries, it's more common for them to call their teacher Profe or something like that. So I kind of just made that switch, I guess, when I transitioned into teaching IB Spanish.
So like to these like countries that you've visited, which one can you see yourself like living long term the most in?
Probably Spain.
Okay.
Especially this last time I went to Malaga, and I had never been to the south, and I could kind of see how that would be a great place after, retirement, because they have a Mediterranean climate, so it's kind of similar to Florida. It doesn't get super cold. But honestly, some of the other ones like Costa Rica also would be a great place, but that's a long ways away.
Yeah.
What would you say like your favorite Spanish-speaking country cuisines are?
Ooh, I really like a lot of Caribbean foods. So like one of my favorite things to cook is ropa vieja from Cuba and
good. That's good.
camarones in tostones. That would be like my favorite meal probably ever. That combination of Cuba, Puerto Rico. It's just got kind of everything. But I love anything Mexican food, especially sopes are my favorite. I love arepas. I make those at home. So I like a variety. But I would say like what I cook at home is more on the Caribbean side.
Okay.
Do you have any like favorite spots around here that would serve anything like that?
Like hidden gems. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about hidden gems. I'm still looking for them. Like my favorite Colombian food that I've had around was mi sitio, but I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah.
I haven't really found like a Puerto Rican spot that I've loved. Like there's like Latin quarters, but it's a little overpriced. Like I can make mofongo at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the ceviche restaurant really close to Mi Sitio? Have you ever
Yeah.
gone there?
I haven't, no.
I recommend
But
it.
I've heard it's really good,
Yeah, you should go
Peruvian
there.
food's amazing.
Yeah.
Or Peru 941 downtown was really good.
Yeah.
I think I've had that. It's really good.
I have it's like a 3-step question. Let's say like you can only have 3 meals for the rest of your life, like 1 breakfast, 1 lunch, and 1 dinner. What would they be?
Ooh. Maybe for breakfast, like arepa con huevos y queso. For lunch, I don't know. Maybe like pollo guisado. And then for dinner, what I already mentioned before.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Good picks.
So like now you're a Spanish teacher here at Riverview. Like, do you have any like higher goals in life, or do you feel like this is like where you want to be?
This, I think I definitely want to be here for the rest of my career. I could see myself at some point possibly going into administration, which is why I got my master's, but I'm not, I'm very happy being in the classroom, and, I'm not looking to make any changes like that anytime soon. But I really don't see myself definitely not outside of education. Like I thought in the past maybe about, going to the college level, but I don't know that I want to do that either. So,
Yeah.
Do you have any like former students that have like tried to keep in contact with you and like update you with their life?
yeah, I have a few actually that sometimes I see them around town when they come back that are at, have some at UF, some at Florida State. So definitely have a few of them that keep in contact. Not any yet that are Spanish teachers though, unfortunately. So maybe that'll change.
Yeah. Have like any of those students like said like they want to go into trying to be like a Spanish teacher?
No, actually, out of all of my years, I don't think I've ever had a student that said that.
Oh.
That's gonna be
You
you.
gonna change that?
Yeah, you can change that.
Possibly.
Is there like any things that like, I guess just like by knowing you that like, I guess like a student wouldn't know about you?
I guess like my fun fact when like I worked at Starbucks for 4 years in college, and I competed in the barista championships in 2014. So I'm really actually pretty passionate about coffee, and I got like my coffee master certification.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that might be something that people don't know.
That's sick. That's
Did you
cool.
win that championship?
No, I didn't. I
Aw.
didn't place.
How would you
but-
win? How would you win? Like,
Yeah,
well,
like,
how do they
so it was
measure
like
that?
every district. So so my district included like kind of like the 3 or 4 neighboring cities, all the stores in there. So I was representing a whole district, and then I think there were maybe like 10 or 11 of us that were at the competition, but it was difficult because like one of the things was about latte art, and we didn't really do that at the time, and we didn't even have like our steaming pitchers were not really good for that.
yeah.
So it was kind of like new to everyone unless you kind of like did it, you know,
In your free
in
time.
your free time. Yeah. So, but it was a great experience. It was fun.
Do you feel like you felt like you were like a natural at that, or like, do you feel like you definitely had to like work hard to like become like very good at this like craft of making coffee?
Yeah, I feel like I kind of learned from just kind of jumping in. Like my first time being on bar making drinks by myself was during buy one get one free or like buy one get one free holiday whatever promotion. So it was like a sink or swim kind of situation. So I just learned to, you know, do it quickly, but still, you know, make good coffee drinks. So
Yeah. Do you have a go-to Starbucks order?
well, now that it's pumpkin season, definitely a pumpkin cream cold brew
Okay.
or brown sugar shaken espresso, or they just had like the horchata shaken espresso.
Okay. Might have to go try that.
Did you have any other jobs before Starbucks?
Yep, I've worked at, my first job was at Culver's
Okay.
back in Michigan.
Oh.
And that I kind of similar thing. My primary position was on shakes and, you know, making concrete mixers and stuff. I worked for the biological sciences office in college. So I basically answered phones and made copies for professors, and I think that was it. So mostly the service industry.
yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Outside of Spanish, what other like subjects were you good at in school?
Primarily social studies, Spanish. Science, I was pretty good. It wasn't like my best subject. Definitely not math.
Yeah. Same
In
here.
English as well. Like I took like honors reading, and even though I didn't really like reading in high school that much,
Yeah.
but I was good at writing in general.
Nice. Nice. Do you have like any like favorite like childhood like books that you read like in middle school or like elementary school?
Honestly, I don't like. I don't like I so rarely read books in English now that I can't even really think of. I guess maybe the most impactful one I remember from high school maybe was like To Kill a Mockingbird.
Okay.
But honestly, I don't remember any from earlier on.
Yeah.
Did you ever read Catcher in the Rye?
I didn't. No.
What about like the Hunger Games?
Yeah. So actually, oddly enough, I took like in college, I took like this leadership class freshman year, and we actually read the Hunger Games for that class,
nice,
which
yeah.
was really interesting
Yeah.
because we kind of like pulled out different leadership qualities in the characters and stuff like that. That's an interesting book though.
That's nice.
Do you have any other like teachers that impacted you or supported you like more than others? I know you mentioned your 8th grade Spanish teacher, right?
Yeah, I would say her, and then and I actually get together every time I go to Michigan. We go out to lunch. So I just saw her in January, and then my other high school Spanish teacher, Senor Enriquez, I also see him usually every time I go back. A couple of my social studies teachers. So yeah, I would say like most of them have had a really big impact on me, and I'm lucky that a lot of them I still keep in touch with, and I would say most of them are retired now, but there are a few of them that are still there at my high school.
Are they really pleased to hear you went down the education route as well?
Yeah, I would say so.
What was-
Especially
oh,
now
go-
that not as many people are going into teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was like that path from like moving from Michigan to Florida?
It was pretty easy. So because I had graduated from school in Michigan, and I got my teaching certificate in Michigan. So when I came to Florida, I didn't really have to do much because they had like reciprocity. So they basically gave me a teaching certificate here. So I didn't really have to I don't think I had to take like other certification exams. It was pretty easy. But I guess the biggest thing is getting used to like just the weather in general.
Yeah.
Super hot.
But it's a good thing because we don't participate in winters down here,
Yeah.
so we don't have snow and
Yeah.
all that.
Was Sarasota like your first choice coming here?
Yeah. So my mom also says that when I was like 10 years old, I always said like I'm moving south because I didn't like the cold weather. And then after high school, my one of my best friend's family moved to Sarasota.
Nice.
And so he ended up moving down when he graduated. Now he's in Orlando. So that's kind of how I chose Sarasota, was because I already had, people there. So I kind of looked for teaching jobs around here. So like my first one was out in Lakewood Ranch, my first teaching job.
Nice. And what was like what's like the perspective from like somebody who doesn't like live in Florida? Like what does Sarasota look like to them?
There's definitely a lot more traffic, especially like during season. Like I didn't really fully understand that because I didn't grow up. Like we occasionally went on like spring break trips, but I didn't really grow up doing all that much travel. Like I didn't know a lot of people that would like come down for the winter. So that was probably the biggest thing, was getting used to just how much traffic it is. And I think my first year we thought we didn't like actually have a hurricane, but I remember like we had a day off because it looked like we were gonna get a hurricane. So that was interesting, going from snow days to hurricane days.
What was like your experience with like your first hurricane here? Like were you heavily concerned, or like how was it for you?
I wasn't. I think Irma was the first one that kind of like hit close. But I actually had friends in Charleston that had just moved there, so I kind of used it as an excuse to go and visit them. And then we ended up actually having a tornado in Charleston, so we had to like shelter in their bathroom. But yeah, I was kind of concerned because I didn't know what to expect, but at the same time, I wasn't super worried, I guess. I don't know.
Living in Florida, there's a lot of different sports teams you can support. So my question is, do you watch any sports, and which teams?
Well, there's
would
also
you
like
support?
Michigan teams, you know?
Yeah, but
So I don't watch a lot of like professional sports nowadays. But like I went to a Rays game this summer finally. But I would say I like more college football is more exciting for me than, professional football. But
Are you a Michigan fan?
I did grow up a Michigan fan,
Okay.
yeah. Well, it was kind of split. So my mom, my brother, and I were Michigan fans, and then my dad and his family are all Michigan State fans.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But basically anyone but Ohio State.
True.
Yeah.
Mr. Smith.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What would be like the rest of the day when like Michigan won or like Michigan State won, like in a game?
I mean, it wasn't that serious like in my
Okay.
household.
Yeah.
It was just my mom's my grandpa went to Michigan for a while, so that's kind of how my mom had the connection to U of M. And then like my dad's parents actually met at Michigan State, so
Oh,
they
okay.
had a huge, connection to East Lansing and Michigan State.
Nice.
All answered.
Hmm?
All of them are answered.
Some more
All of them are
questions.
answered. Okay, well, if like all of them are answered, I guess I have one more question. My last question would be like, let's say you're on your deathbed, and and you have one
Got
final
serious.
and you have like one final message for the rest of the world. What would it be?
Ooh. I guess. I don't know. I think it's kind of cliche, but I kind of live by like that golden rule, like treat others how you want to be treated. So I would say that would be it. Like,
Yeah.
Give the energy that you want to receive back.
Nice, nice. All right, well, I think this was like something like very beneficial to do, and like I just want to say thank you for
Thank you.
Yes.
No
You know,
problem. Thank
yeah.
you for inviting me.
Of course.
thank you. I appreciate it.
And that wraps up the first episode.
Of Riverview Off the Clock.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
problem.
Sikkenga.